Ladies and gentlemen, new WBC Silver Champion, pretty sure new WBC #1, Dillian Whyte, over to the floor for questions please.
Dillian, how do you session performance?
It was a good performance, you know. It's a learning, you know. Robert Helenius brought something different to the table. Good movement, you know. He's a guy that's had 200+ amateur fight. He turned pro and keep the amateur style, so it was good. You know, 6'8". He's a bit more rangy than I thought he was. I thought he was coming to fight. He didn't come to fight, so you know I did what I had to do. Set a good tempo, tracked him down, landed what I could land. You know.
He seemed to start quite well, but then you sort of nullified it and took over. Is that how you saw it? Was it how to adjust it first?
Yeah, you know, listen, it was always going to be a fight like that because a strong guy, you know, he looks for the good straight punches, so I had to do something different and made some adjustments. So, and that's what fighting's about. It's about being able to see what's happening and make the adjustment as you go along. You know, I'm relatively inexperienced, so I'm learning the job. You know, as the fights go on, I'm seeing more and learning as the fights actually unfolding.
Did he hurt you in that first or second round?
He landed a good punch in the second. You know, what I mean, you know, he landed a good punch in the second. Wasn't really hurt, but you know, made me reassess the situation and reassess my approach.
Did you notice that he was looking at his feet a lot during the middle rounds?
No, I didn't notice that. I didn't care about that. I was just trying to do what I was trying to do. I was trying to find a way to nullify his range and his movement.
Deontay Wilder said he would be watching. What do you think he would have made of your performance?
I don't know. I don't.
He
care.
might want to take the fight now.
Yeah.
I think if he would have knocked him, maybe it was a plan. If Dillian would have knocked him out in the first or second round, maybe he wouldn't have taken it. But
yeah, exactly. I think Helenius is technically a better boxer than what Deontay Wilder is.
What do you think of the chances Eddie personally of making that fight?
on a serious note, you know, it was a good performance from Dillian, but I think he will admit as well it wasn't a blistering performance. So therefore, you might end up working it to your advantage. I think that Deontay Wilder's fighting next week on Showtime and Sky Sports, defending his title. We're ready to go. February the 3rd at the O2, we've got it booked. I spoke to Stephen Espinosa about it this morning at breakfast. He's going to talk to Al Heyman. They like the fight. If Deontay Wilder will travel, there is an easy fight to be made on February the 3rd for the WBC title in London. And it opens up the division, you know, because I think this is where it's at in the UK. So, you know, I think it would be a good idea for him to travel.
During your talks, have you talked about America?
No. He'd go to America.
Yeah.
Not a problem, but he can't make the money in America.
Exactly.
So we'll pay him double the money to do the fight in London. So, but if they want to make us an offer to go to America,
yeah, we're willing to travel. I've gone showed we'll travel. I'm in boxing to fight the best, but the Deontay Wilder fight makes sense at the minute. You know what I mean? So that's what we're chasing. But if an opportunity comes up to fight one of the other champions, Joseph Parker would really love that fight. But you know, Joseph Parker is, you know, his stock's gone down after the Yuri Fury fight, and he's just looking for someone to pay ridiculous money for his belt. You know, and he doesn't bring that value to the table. It'd be good to win his belt, but let's see what happens.
Hey, you brought in Helenius with a short notice. Were you expecting more of him, or are you disqualified as performance?
I think that he started very well. I thought he won maybe the first 2 rounds. Then he started to get hurt a little bit, and then I think that he decided that he didn't really want to be in the fight as much. Tried to box off the back foot, tried to survive, and then it's very hard to look good against someone who's trying to survive. And obviously Dillian got a little bit frustrated, smuggled his work a little bit. But when someone's running and they don't want to engage, it's very difficult to look good and get him out of there. So I think the most important thing for Dillian Whyte is he is still learning. 21 fights now.
23 now.
23 fights, and you know, WBC champion, silver champion, WBC #1. I would expect that the IBF will probably call a final eliminator between Dillian Whyte as well, and probably Jarrell Miller if he beats Marius Wack to become Anthony Joshua's mandatory for the next mandatory, which will be due about September time next year. So he's in a really good position. I think he could have a final eliminator for the WBC. I think he could have a final eliminator for the IBF. I think he could fight Deontay Wilder. You know, there's also Dominic Brazil, Lucas Brown, other fights out there. He's going to box on February the 3rd at the O2, whatever happens. So, but ultimately, we want the biggest fight, you know, out there. And outside of AJ, that is Deontay Wilder for Dillian Whyte.
What's the situation with the Chisora rematch?
Chisora's fighting for a European title next week in Monaco. Very tough fight. That fight is still there on the cards. People would love to see that again. The aim for Dillian Whyte is to get a world title shot. That's the #1 priority. If we can't get that, then we look at the other options. And Derek Chisora is definitely one of those options.
Dylan, what's your thoughts on Anthony's performance tonight? Did you watch it afterwards?
I didn't watch it. I had to stay behind to do drug testing and other stuff, so I didn't get a chance to get out. After the fight, very dehydrated, so I had to drink lots of water and stay behind so I can pee and give blood.
Dillian, what have you made of your progress since your AJ fight? What's pleased you most about how far you've come now?
I'm progressing in our department, you know, like, because I'm very, very inexperienced. I'm still learning. It's like I fight at top level with low level experience. That's what everyone forget, you know what I mean? Everyone criticise and say this and say that, but my experience level is low, but my heart and my determination and my work ethic is right up there with everyone else. So just to keep working, keep fighting and let the experience build, you know, and it's getting the right way. We're getting the right fights, you know what I mean? I wanted to go up against someone like Helenius, who's a good boxer, good mover, good power, and we managed to deliver that. And he's lying. He never had 2 weeks notice of the fight. We tried to make the fight 8 weeks ago. He was up sparring Anthony Joshua up in Sheffield, doing 8 rounds and that, so he was quite fit. He turned the fight down to fight in Finland for whatever reason, and he took the fight 2 weeks notice. At one stage I thought maybe he was trying to catch me off guard or something, but I kept my training up. I was consistent. I didn't know who was fighting, so camp was being a little bit difficult, but I kept my motivation and kept the graph going.
Dylan, you looked very frustrated at the end, but will you look back at that as a good experience?
Yeah, you know, it's a big show. I wanted to highlight real knockout, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I wanted to close the show with a good knockout, you know, but as it goes sometimes, I always say ugly victory is better than a pretty loss, you know what I mean? With a victory, you can plan it, you can build on, you can build in it, you can move forward, but with a loss, it sets you back. So, you know, I do whatever I got to do to win, and I had to do something slightly different than I normally do today, you know what I mean? I didn't get to work the body as much because he was up and back, he wanted to survive, so I tried to learn a bit more straight right hand and stuff, you know what I mean? But it was good, you know what I mean? I was fit, I set a tempo, and I held the tempo all the way through to the 12th round. My conditioning improving, so I'm happy.
Eddie, would Dillian have to have a belt to give a rematch with AJ?
No. I mean, AJ's, you know, there's not many opponents out there that are commercially viable outside of particularly the unifications, and Dylan's right up on the list. But the plan is to make that fight a unification fight. So, you know, a fight with Wilder or Parker, but definitely in 2018, if he hasn't had a shot at a world title or isn't mandatory, there's no reason why the AJ fight can't happen again. I know it's a fight that the British public would like to see.
At the end of the fight, AJ said that one of the guys who won his fight next year was Deontay Wilder. Who would you prefer, Dillian versus Deontay or AJ versus Deontay?
I just think that with AJ's nose, I don't think he's going to box in February or anything like that, so he's good to go on February the 3rd. I'm trying to make the AJ Deontay Wilder fight as big as possible, and I believe that Dillian Whyte can beat Wilder. But I'm saying to Wilder, if you believe you can beat Dillian Whyte and you want to fight AJ, your stock will rise much higher in a fight like that with Dillian Whyte. But we were also, obviously it's a voluntary defence, and we were happy to give Wilder a rematch. There's no downside really for Deontay Wilder to not take that fight. See what he says in the morning.
Eddie, would there be some sort of guarantee if Deontay's contract?
Absolutely not. It's two different fights. It doesn't work like that. And I spoke to one of his advisors and they said, yeah, it would have to involve AJ. And I said, no, we're not going to negotiate AJ fight in a week or 2 weeks. We need to know in the next 2 weeks, do you want to fight on February the 3rd in London? You know the offer. Maybe there's a little bit more juice in the offer. We'll chat about that. But that's it. That's all we need to know. If not, we'll move on. But there isn't anybody else that I believe his broadcasters and his network want to see him fight outside of Anthony Joshua. So they're not interested in like paying up a load of money for Brazil again, or you know, someone like this. So
do you not think that it's like they're trying to like get more money out of the fight?
No, of course, we deal with that every day.
So have you got anything that you might think
where you can make more money, make the Dillian Whyte, Deontay's Wilder fight bigger than? Is there any like other ways that?
Do you mean how can I pay him any more money? Yeah, maybe. But Dillian has to get paid as well. So, you know, but at the end of the day, he's already been offered $3 million plus US TV, perhaps $4 million in total. If he's making $2 million a fight, which I'm not sure he is, then, but it doesn't matter. I think he might watch that fight tonight and think, yeah, go on then. Hopefully he does.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully. We'll see. We've got lots of options anyway, so it's good to be in this position with lots of options, so we'll see how it goes.
Alright guys, thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.